Most people believe gladiators were muscle-bound meat-eaters who lived on raw beef and lion steaks. The truth will shatter everything you think you know about these legendary warriors. Archaeological evidence reveals that Rome's most feared fighters followed a strict plant-based diet and drank a bizarre cocktail made from burned bones and ashes. Picture the Colosseum at its bloodiest peak. 50,000 Romans scream as two warriors circle each other in the sand, their bronze muscles gleaming under the Mediterranean sun. These men could kill a lion with their bare hands, yet their bodies were built not on meat, but on beans, barley, and a strange ash-based drink that would make modern athletes cringe. The discovery came from an unlikely place. In 1993, archaeologists excavating a gladiator cemetery in Ephesus, Turkey, found something that changed everything we thought we knew about ancient Rome's greatest athletes. The bone analysis revealed mineral compositions that could only come from one source: a predominantly vegetarian diet supplemented by calcium-rich ash drinks. But why would Rome's ultimate killing machines choose plants over meat? The answer lies in a web of economics, medicine, and survival that reveals the dark reality behind the glamorous image of gladiatorial combat. These weren't just entertainers. They were valuable investments worth more than most Roman citizens would see in a lifetime. What we're about to uncover will take you inside the secret world of gladiator schools, where life and death hung in the balance of every meal, and where a warrior's diet could mean the difference between glory and a gruesome death in the sand. The year is 73 before Christ. In the sprawling gladiator school of Capua, south of Rome, hundreds of warriors wake before dawn to begin their daily ritual. The lanista, the gladiator trainer, walks through the barracks, his leather whip coiled at his side. These men are not heroes. They are slaves, prisoners of war, and condemned criminals. Yet they are treated like precious racehorses, because in the brutal economics of Roman entertainment, they represent fortunes. Marcus Crassus, one of Rome's wealthiest men, owns this particular school. He has invested the equivalent of millions in today's currency in these human weapons. A single trained gladiator costs more than 20 ordinary slaves. When one dies in the arena, Crassus doesn't just lose entertainment. He loses a walking financial empire. This economic reality shaped every aspect of gladiator life, starting with what they ate at dawn each morning. The discovery at Ephesus revealed bone collagen patterns that told an incredible story spanning decades of dietary habits. Dr. Fabian Kanz, the Austrian anthropologist who led the groundbreaking research, found that gladiators had significantly higher levels of strontium in their bones compared to ordinary Romans. Strontium comes primarily from plants, not meat. But the most shocking finding was the calcium levels. They were off the charts, sometimes triple the normal amounts found in contemporary Roman citizens. Ancient Roman texts, particularly those of Pliny the Elder and Galen, describe gladiators as hordearii, literally, barley men. They consumed massive quantities of barley, beans, lentils, dried fruits, nuts, and olive oil. Their breakfast consisted of barley porridge mixed with beans and lentils. Lunch was often bread made from barley flour, accompanied by more legumes. Dinner featured the same basic ingredients, sometimes enhanced with vegetables like onions, garlic, and dried fruits for flavor and additional nutrients. But this wasn't about health food trends or animal rights philosophy. This was pure economics and calculated strategy developed over generations of gladiatorial combat experience. Dr. Karl Grossschmidt, who worked alongside Kanz in analyzing hundreds of gladiator remains, explained that plant proteins were significantly cheaper than meat in the Roman Empire. Feeding hundreds of gladiators on beef, pork, or chicken would have bankrupted even the wealthiest Romans within months. A single gladiator consumed approximately 3,000 to 4,000 calories daily during training periods. Multiply that by hundreds of warriors, and the costs become astronomical when using animal proteins. But there was something else that modern sports science has helped us understand. The gladiators needed a specific type of body composition for survival in the arena, and their plant-based diet achieved something that meat-based diets couldn't replicate. Fat saved lives in the arena. A layer of subcutaneous fat protected vital organs from sword cuts, spear thrusts, and animal claws, while providing sustained energy reserves for prolonged combat that could last hours. Meat-based diets created lean muscle mass with minimal fat stores, but plant-based diets with their complex carbohydrates and natural oils created the kind of padded, powerful bodies that could absorb tremendous punishment and keep fighting when others would collapse from exhaustion. The gladiator Spartacus himself likely followed this exact dietary regimen when he led the greatest slave rebellion in Roman history between 73 and 71 before Christ. Historical accounts describe him as powerfully built but not lean. Exactly what we would expect from a barley-fed warrior whose body was adapted for endurance and protection rather than mere aesthetics. Contemporary Roman writers often mocked gladiators for their plant-based diet, calling them weak and unmanly. Yet these same weak vegetarians regularly defeated wild animals, professional soldiers, and each other in combat that required extraordinary physical and mental strength. The contradiction puzzled ancient observers, but modern nutritional science explains the apparent paradox. Before we dive deeper into their bizarre drinking habits that sound like ancient witchcraft, let me make a quick invitation. If you're new to the channel and you're enjoying the content so far, subscribe and hit the like button to help the channel grow. Now, let's get back to the strangest part of the gladiator diet that would make modern athletes cringe in disgust. The ash drink, or gladiator Gatorade, as modern researchers playfully call it, came from a recipe that sounds like medieval witchcraft mixed with primitive chemistry. Gladiators would systematically burn the bones of specific animals, grind the resulting ashes into fine powder using stone mortars, and mix it with vinegar, water, or sometimes wine. The resulting drink was bitter, gritty, and packed with calcium, phosphorus, magnesium, and other essential minerals that their bodies desperately needed for recovery and bone strength. But why would anyone voluntarily drink bone ashes? The answer lies in the brutal reality of gladiatorial combat and the limitations of ancient medical knowledge. But what nobody expected was that this strange combination of plants and ashes would create warriors so formidable that they would challenge the very foundations of the Roman Empire, leading to discoveries that would change our understanding of ancient nutrition forever. Broken bones were an occupational hazard that could end a gladiator's career in seconds. Roman physicians understood that calcium helped bones heal faster, but they didn't have modern supplements, calcium tablets, or intravenous treatments. Animal bone ash provided concentrated calcium in a bioavailable form that the human body could actually absorb and utilize for rapid bone repair and strengthening. The recipe varied dramatically by school, region, and the wealth of the lanista who owned the gladiators. Some schools used deer bones, believing they provided speed and agility. Others preferred cattle bones for raw strength and endurance. The most expensive schools used elephant bones when available, convinced they provided superior power and almost magical protection against injury. The preparation process was almost ritualistic, passed down through generations of trainers like sacred knowledge. Bones were burned at specific temperatures, hot enough to reduce them to ash but not so hot that the minerals became unusable. The grinding required precise techniques using stone mortars, with experienced slaves spending hours creating powder fine enough to dissolve properly. The mixing ratios were closely guarded secrets, with each school believing their formula provided competitive advantages over rival training facilities. Modern chemical analysis of gladiator bone samples revealed something extraordinary. The calcium levels weren't just high, they were strategically distributed throughout the skeletal system in patterns that suggested systematic, long-term supplementation designed to prevent specific types of combat injuries. Wrist bones showed enhanced density to prevent breaks from sword impacts. Rib bones displayed unusual thickness to protect vital organs. Skull fragments revealed reinforcement patterns consistent with repeated blunt force trauma protection. But the ash drink was only part of a larger nutritional strategy that bordered on ancient sport science. Gladiator schools employed medici, specialized physicians who understood combat nutrition in ways that wouldn't be matched until modern athletic training programs emerged in the 20th century. Galen of Pergamon, one of the most famous physicians in Roman history, worked directly with gladiators in the arena and documented their dietary requirements with scientific precision that rivals modern sports nutrition guidelines. He observed that gladiators who followed strict plant-based diets combined with mineral supplementation healed faster from injuries, maintained energy longer during combat, and survived more fights than those who ate traditional Roman diets heavy in meat and dairy. The economic implications were staggering. A gladiator who lived longer and fought more successfully could earn his owner hundreds of times his initial purchase price through arena victories, betting profits, and rental fees to other venues. This financial incentive drove continuous experimentation with diet, training methods, and medical treatments that pushed the boundaries of ancient knowledge. The plant-based diet provided another crucial advantage that meat-based nutrition couldn't match: digestive efficiency during combat stress. When adrenaline floods the system during life-or-death fighting, the digestive system essentially shuts down to redirect blood flow to muscles and vital organs. Plant-based foods digest more easily and provide sustained energy release, while meat-based proteins require significant digestive energy that isn't available during combat situations. Roman spectators unknowingly witnessed the results of this nutritional strategy every time they attended gladiatorial games. The endurance displays that amazed crowds, gladiators fighting for hours without apparent fatigue, were direct products of their carbohydrate-rich, plant-based diets combined with strategic mineral supplementation through bone ash drinks. The ash preparation itself became a specialized skill within gladiator schools. Master preparers, usually former gladiators who survived long enough to retire, commanded high salaries for their knowledge of which animal bones provided specific benefits. Lion bones were prized for courage, bear bones for strength, and eagle bones for speed and precision. While these beliefs were largely superstitious, the calcium and mineral content provided real physiological benefits regardless of the animal source. The drinking ritual typically occurred twice daily, once before training sessions and once after combat or intensive physical preparation. The taste was reportedly horrible, described by surviving accounts as bitter, chalky, and nauseating. Yet gladiators consumed it religiously because they understood the connection between the ash drinks and their ability to recover from injuries that would permanently disable ordinary people. Archaeological evidence from gladiator quarters reveals grinding stones, burning pits, and storage containers specifically designed for ash preparation and consumption. The elaborate infrastructure required for this nutritional program demonstrates how seriously Roman society took gladiator conditioning and how much money was invested in keeping these human weapons at peak performance levels. The combination of plant-based nutrition and mineral supplementation created gladiators who were essentially ancient super soldiers, warriors whose bodies were optimized for sustained combat, rapid recovery, and maximum survival probability in the deadliest entertainment venue in human history. However, what was about to happen would exceed all expectations and reveal secrets that remained hidden for millennia, as gladiators would use their superior conditioning to challenge Rome itself in ways that would shake the empire to its foundations. The rebellion of Spartacus in 73 before Christ became the ultimate test of gladiator nutrition and conditioning. When Spartacus and 78 fellow gladiators broke out of the Capua school, they weren't just escaping slavery, they were unleashing warriors whose bodies had been systematically optimized for sustained combat through years of plant-based nutrition and mineral supplementation. What followed shocked the Roman world. These escaped gladiators didn't just survive in the wilderness. They thrived, defeated professional Roman legions, and grew their rebellion from 78 men to over 120,000 followers. Their superior conditioning, built on barley and bone ash, allowed them to march incredible distances, fight multiple battles, and maintain combat effectiveness for over 2 years while being pursued by Rome's most elite military forces. Roman historians recorded their amazement at the gladiators' endurance. Plutarch wrote that Spartacus and his men could fight all day, march through the night, and be ready for combat again at dawn, feats that exhausted trained Roman soldiers who ate traditional meat-heavy military rations. The plant-based gladiator diet provided sustained energy release that meat-based nutrition couldn't match during prolonged military campaigns. Modern sports science explains what ancient Romans witnessed but couldn't understand. Plant-based diets create superior glycogen storage in muscles and liver, providing sustained energy for endurance activities. The complex carbohydrates from barley and legumes fuel prolonged physical exertion more effectively than protein-heavy diets that require significant energy for digestion and conversion. The bone ash supplementation proved equally crucial during the rebellion. Spartacus and his followers engaged in brutal combat for months, suffering injuries that should have ended their fighting capability. Yet they continued fighting effectively, their calcium-enhanced bones healing faster and breaking less frequently than their Roman opponents who lacked mineral supplementation. The revelation goes deeper than individual nutrition. Archaeological analysis of gladiator remains from multiple sites across the Roman Empire reveals a systematic approach to human performance optimization that wouldn't be matched until modern Olympic training programs emerged. Gladiator schools were essentially ancient laboratories for human athletic potential, driven by economic incentives to create the most effective fighting machines possible. Dr. Kansas' research team discovered that different gladiator schools had variations in their nutritional approaches, but all successful schools shared common elements: plant-based primary nutrition, systematic mineral supplementation, and careful attention to body composition optimization. Schools that deviated from these principles produced gladiators with shorter careers and lower survival rates. The economic data is staggering. Successful gladiator schools generated profits equivalent to modern professional sports franchises. A single champion gladiator could earn his owner more money than entire merchant businesses. This financial pressure drove continuous innovation in training, nutrition, and medical treatment that pushed ancient knowledge to its absolute limits. The ash drink formula wasn't random superstition. It was primitive biochemistry based on observable results. Modern analysis shows that different animal bones provide different mineral profiles. Eagle bones are high in phosphorus for neurological function. Bear bones contain magnesium for muscle function. Lion bones provide iron for blood oxygen capacity. While the Romans didn't understand the specific biochemistry, they observed that different bone sources produced different performance results and adapted their formulas accordingly. The nutritional strategy extended beyond basic diet into recovery optimization. Gladiator schools employed massage therapists, bath attendants, and specialized cooks who understood how to prepare plant-based foods for maximum nutrient absorption. The entire system was designed around keeping valuable human assets healthy, strong, and profitable for as long as possible. The ultimate irony is that Roman citizens considered gladiators inferior while unknowingly watching demonstrations of superior human conditioning. The same society that mocked barley men as weak and unmanly was entertained by their superhuman displays of strength, endurance, and pain tolerance. All products of the nutrition system they ridiculed. Modern research has vindicated ancient gladiator nutrition in ways that would amaze Roman physicians. Plant-based diets reduce inflammation, improve cardiovascular health, and provide superior endurance capacity. Calcium supplementation enhances bone density and accelerates injury recovery. The combination creates athletes who can perform at peak levels while maintaining career longevity. Exactly what gladiator schools achieved 2,000 years ago. The legacy extends into contemporary sports nutrition. Modern endurance athletes increasingly adopt plant-based diets for performance advantages that mirror ancient gladiator benefits. Professional fighters use calcium supplementation to prevent bone injuries. The principles discovered through brutal economic necessity in Roman gladiator schools now inform cutting-edge athletic performance programs. Perhaps most remarkable is that this nutritional revolution emerged not from medical research or scientific curiosity, but from pure economic pressure to maximize the performance and longevity of human weapons. Roman capitalism accidentally created the world's first systematic approach to optimized human athletic performance. The discoveries at Ephesus Cemetery have opened a window into an ancient world where human performance was pushed to absolute limits through methods that modern science is only beginning to fully understand and appreciate. The bone analysis from Ephesus has fundamentally changed how we understand ancient Rome, human nutrition, and the limits of athletic performance. These gladiators, dismissed by their contemporaries as mere entertainment, were actually participating in the world's first systematic experiment in human optimization. An experiment that produced results modern science is still working to fully comprehend. The implications extend far beyond ancient history. When Spartacus led his rebellion using warriors conditioned on plants and bone ash, he demonstrated that superior nutrition could overcome military training, advanced weapons, and numerical disadvantages. His plant-powered army defeated Roman legions for 2 years, proving that what we eat directly impacts what we can achieve under the most extreme circumstances imaginable. Today's athletes are rediscovering principles that gladiator trainers understood 2 millennia ago. Professional fighters adopt plant-based diets for enhanced recovery and sustained energy. Endurance athletes use targeted mineral supplementation to prevent injuries and accelerate healing. The methods have evolved, but the fundamental understanding remains the same. Optimal nutrition creates optimal human performance. The gladiators were unwilling pioneers in a nutritional revolution that challenges modern assumptions about strength, diet, and human potential. Their legacy reminds us that some of our most important discoveries come not from laboratories or universities, but from desperate circumstances that force innovation beyond conventional thinking. These ancient warriors, fueled by barley and bone ash, achieved feats that amazed Roman audiences and continue to inspire researchers today. They proved that human performance isn't limited by traditional expectations. It's limited only by our willingness to challenge conventional wisdom and pursue optimization through unconventional methods. The next time you see a modern athlete following a plant-based diet or using specialized supplements, remember that they're following a path first carved by Roman slaves who transformed themselves into legendary warriors through nothing more than strategic nutrition and unbreakable determination. The gladiators taught us that greatness isn't born. It's built, one meal at a time, through choices that prioritize performance over convenience and results over tradition. Their story continues to echo across millennia because it reveals a fundamental truth about human potential that transcends time, culture, and circumstance. The secrets of ancient performance optimization continue to influence modern athletic achievement, proving that sometimes the most powerful innovations come from the most unexpected sources. If you made it this far and aren't subscribed yet, subscribe now, hit the like button, and share in the comments what surprised you most about gladiator nutrition. See you in the next video.